if I told you that your life could transform? Starting with one simple idea, designing your day with purpose. In this video, we're diving into the strategies and mindset shifts that the most disciplined and successful people use to create lives they're proud of, starting from the moment they wake up. This isn't just about routines or schedules. It's about building a life where every day moves you closer to the person you're meant to be. Stick with me, because today, we're not just talking about how to plan your day, we're talking about how to build a life that's extraordinary. It starts here. Let's get into it. Life is not measured by the ease of the path we walk, but by the effort we expend climbing the steepest hills. It's from the uphill climb that we derive our value. The Stoics remind us, adversity is not the enemy. It's the forge in which we are shaped. The sweat on our brow, the ache in our limbs, the moments of doubt, all these are the marks of progress without resistance. There is no growth without challenge. There is no strength when you face a mountain. Do not curse its height, embrace it. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a triumph over weakness. Every stumble is an opportunity to rise stronger. The climb teaches us patience, discipline, and resolve. Remember, the summit is not where our worth lies. It's in the struggle, the resilience, the courage to keep going when the ground feels unsteady beneath us. So, take heart. Whatever hill stands before you today, face it with unyielding determination, for it's not the summit but the climb that defines who we are. The essence of life is found in movement, in the pursuit of something greater than ourselves. Almost all the positive emotion we feel, especially the deep enthusiasm that ignites our spirit, is tied to the goals we set. It's not in the goal's achievement, but in the striving, that we find meaning. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that life is a journey, not a destination. True fulfillment comes from advancing toward a goal that constantly evolves, a horizon that recedes as we approach it. This is not a flaw, it's a gift, for in this endless pursuit, we find purpose. A goal that can never be fully attained ensures that we remain in motion, continuously growing, continuously striving. It keeps us humble, reminding us that perfection is not the destination, but the process. So, choose your goals wisely, aim for the lofty and the eternal truth, wisdom, virtue. These are not prizes you hold in your hands, but ideals that draw you forward as you journey. Celebrate the steps, not just the milestones, for it's the striving, the struggle, and the endless progression that fill life with vitality and meaning. Remember, it's not the reaching, but the reaching for that shapes the soul. At first glance, the pursuit of an unattainable goal may seem futile, a struggle akin to Sisyphus pushing his rock uphill. You might think, what's the point? It's frustrating, but here's the truth. It's not the futility of the task that defines you, but what you become in the process. As you pursue that goal, you align yourself. Piece by piece, you grow stronger, wiser, and more whole. Your life becomes richer, more abundant, and filled with purpose. The Stoics remind us that the highest virtues, truth, wisdom, and courage, are transcendent. These ideals sit above the noise of daily life, giving us direction, inspiring us to reach higher. You want your goals to stand above you, always just out of reach, so that you are drawn upward toward what is more sublime and better. This is not a curse, it is the greatest gift. By striving for something higher, you elevate your character. Each step forward makes you more resilient, more virtuous. The struggle itself is what refines you. So embrace the climb. Set your sights on goals that transcend, goals that push you beyond yourself, for it's in the reaching, not the arrival, that life's greatest meaning is found. And remember, each step toward the sublime brings you closer to becoming your highest self. You are not here to drift through life in complacency. You are here to live, to truly live, not to sleep through the moments, not to retreat into comfort, but to face the world with open eyes and a steadfast heart. Life demands action, not apathy. The Stoics teach us that our time is fleeting and each moment is a gift. To live is to engage fully, to rise to the challenges before us, and to grow stronger with every trial. Do not waste your days in slumber, physical or spiritual. Instead, awaken to the present. Feel the weight of your purpose and the fire of your potential. Every breath, every decision, is an opportunity to become something more. You are here to live, to strive for virtue, to seek wisdom, to act with courage. Sleep is for the unaware. Life is for those who dare to truly experience it. So rise and live with intention. For this and nothing less is what you were made for. We often fall into the trap of comparing ourselves to others. But the truth is, the people you're comparing yourself to, you don't really know them. You see their polished exterior, their shiny successes, but you don't see the full reality of their lives. There will always be people who seem to be doing better than you, better in their careers, their relationships, their achievements. If you measure yourself only by their light, you risk casting your own life into shadow. But comparison is a dangerous game. Others are not you. You don't know the struggles they've endured, the sacrifices they've made, or the burdens they're carrying even now. Their path is not yours, and their battles are not your own. Instead, look inward. Contrast yourself not with others, but with who you were yesterday. That's where real progress lies. Ask yourself, have I grown? Have I acted with courage, wisdom, and integrity today? Am I closer to the person I aspire to be? This is the only comparison that matters. It's not about being better than someone else. It's about becoming better than the person you were. So, step away from the distractions of others' lives. Focus on your own journey, your own growth. This is the Stoic way to measure yourself only by yourself, and to grow stronger with each passing day. This is the only way to measure progress that truly matters. Why? Because it's real. You can tell when you've improved. Even in the smallest way, maybe you're a little more disciplined, a little kinder, or a little braver than you were before. These incremental gains may seem small, but they are powerful. The beauty of this approach is its simplicity. You can actually do it. Every day presents an opportunity to make yourself just a little better. A better thinker, a better doer, a better human. And these small changes, repeated over time, lead to profound transformation. This is the Stoic way. Improvement is a daily commitment, grounded in action and reflection. It's not about perfection, but progress not about being better than anyone else, but being better than the person you were yesterday. So, start now. Find one thing, just one thing you can improve today. Do it, and tomorrow, find another step by step. You'll grow into the person you're meant to be. Be mindful of who you let into your life's most important moments, both the triumphs and the trials. When you have good news to share, choose your audience wisely. Share it with those who will genuinely celebrate with you. People whose happiness for your success is sincere and unclouded by envy. Likewise, when life brings challenges, be just as cautious. Not everyone can hold space for your struggles or honor your grief. Seek those who can listen with empathy, who will not dismiss your pain or exploit your vulnerability, but will stand beside you as you navigate the storm. The Stoics remind us to cultivate relationships of trust and mutual respect, connections that uplift rather than weigh us down. The people you confide in should reflect the virtues you strive for: honesty, kindness, and integrity. Protect your inner world. Your joy and sorrow are precious. They deserve to be met with sincerity and care. By choosing wisely who you share with, you create a circle of strength, a support system that aligns with your values and helps you grow. Remember, true friends celebrate your joys and shoulder your burdens. Seek them and be one in return. Beauty calls us to rise, to step into our higher selves. It is not merely something we observe. It is a force that inspires us to seek meaning, truth, and virtue. To make friends with beauty is to approach one of life's great mysteries, one of the reasons existence becomes worth living. Despite the challenges we face, there has never been a better time for the majority of people to be alive. Yes, life is fragile and terrible events are always possible. But when we step back and truly see, the future holds immense promise. Humanity has become remarkably technologically advanced, and the pace of change is staggering. This progress is not without risk, however. The responsibility lies with us individually and collectively. The only way we can manage this rapidly changing world is by making wise, careful, and truthful decisions. Each of us has a role to play. Each choice we make, no matter how small, contributes to the trajectory of our shared future. If we rise to the challenge, if we cultivate wisdom and virtue within ourselves, then perhaps things can continue to improve. The Stoics teach us that while we cannot control the vast forces of the world, we can control our actions, and through these actions, we shape the world we live in. So embrace the beauty around you, for it reminds us of what's worth striving for, and take each moment as an opportunity to act with care, truth, and wisdom. Together we can create a future that honors the best of who we are and who we can become. Strength is forged, not given. You don't teach people to stand tall, to bear responsibility by handing them everything they need. Growth doesn't come from ease. It comes from challenge, and therein lies the paradox. We want to help others, but too much help can weaken the very foundation of their strength. The Stoics understood this deeply. Adversity is the crucible of character. When life demands effort, discipline, and resilience, we rise to meet those demands. Responsibility isn't a burden, it's a privilege. It's the weight that shapes us into something greater than we were. To deny someone the struggle is to deny them their potential. If everything is given, nothing is earned. And if nothing is earned, the spirit remains untested, unproven. So, while we seek to support others, we must also allow them the space to struggle, to fall, and to rise again. True strength is found in the act of standing on one's own 2 feet, of embracing responsibility and meeting life's challenges head on. Remember this for yourself too. Embrace responsibility not as a punishment, but as a gift, a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more capable. For it's in carrying the weight of the world, even in small ways, that we find the strength to hold ourselves upright. Success, in its truest form, is built on the foundation of truth. One thing becomes clear when observing those who have achieved phenomenal success. They commit themselves unwaveringly to living a truthful life. Truth is not always easy. It demands courage, humility, and self-reflection. But truth aligns us with reality, allowing us to see clearly, act decisively, and build trust with others. Without it, even the grandest successes are hollow, fragile, and fleeting. The Stoics believed that a life grounded in truth is a life of integrity, a life worth living. To live truthfully is to align your words, actions, and values. It is to face reality, no matter how uncomfortable, and to act with honesty in all that you do. When you live truthfully, you become trustworthy. People respect and rely on those whose lives are transparent and genuine. This trust becomes the foundation for lasting success, not just in worldly achievements, but in the deeper success of building a life of meaning and virtue. So ask yourself daily, am I being truthful? Am I living in alignment with my values and my purpose? The answer to these questions determines not just the quality of your success, but the quality of your character. Remember, truth is not a single act, it is a way of being. And when you commit to it, you unlock the potential to achieve something far greater than success. A life of authenticity and fulfillment. Life is a race, but not in the shallow sense of competing against others. It's a race against time, against stagnation, and against the challenges that test our resolve. To thrive in this race, you need to cultivate 2 vital qualities: stress tolerance and conscientiousness. Stress tolerance means facing pressure without breaking. It's the ability to stay composed and resilient, even when life feels overwhelming. The Stoics teach us that adversity is not our enemy. It's the proving ground where strength is born. To succeed, you must learn to embrace discomfort and endure the struggle. Conscientiousness, on the other hand, is the discipline to stay focused and act with purpose. It's the commitment to do what needs to be done, even when it's difficult. Effort is not optional, it's the cost of progress. Why do the most intelligent often rise to the top? Because intelligence is speed. It allows people to adapt quickly, solve problems faster, and move toward difficult goals with clarity and precision. But intelligence alone isn't enough. Without effort and motivation, even the brightest mind remains stagnant. The Stoics remind us, it's not just about getting there first. It's about moving towards something meaningful. You must direct your energy and effort toward what matters, and that requires purpose. Find what drives you, embrace the challenges, and move forward with speed and determination. The race isn't simply about winning, it's about growing, striving, and becoming. So, put in the effort, face the difficulty, and keep moving forward. The reward is not just in reaching the goal, but in becoming the person who dared to run the race. Motivation is not one size fits all. It springs from different sources, shaped by who you are and how you engage with the world. To understand what drives you, you must first understand yourself. The Stoics taught the importance of self-awareness, of knowing your strengths, weaknesses, and inclinations. When you recognize your unique personality traits, you unlock a map to your personal sources of motivation. If you're extroverted, your motivation comes from connection. Friends, community, and shared experiences fuel your spirit and push you forward. If you're agreeable, intimacy is your guiding light. Relationships built on trust and care give your efforts meaning. If you're disagreeable, competition drives you. The desire to test yourself, to win, to prove your strength. This becomes your source of purpose.
If you're open, creativity calls to you.
The act of imagining, creating, and innovating fulfills your need to explore the unknown. If you're high in neuroticism, security is key. Building a stable and safe life gives you the foundation to move forward confidently. Each of these traits offers a wellspring of motivation. If you align your goals with who you are, don't fight against your nature. Work with it, use your strengths to your advantage, and tailor your pursuits to the unique person you are. The Stoics remind us that self-awareness is the root of wisdom. When you know yourself, you can harness your motivations wisely, guiding them toward goals that are meaningful and aligned with your values. Remember, motivation is not a single spark, it's a flame you feed by knowing yourself, accepting your nature, and acting with purpose. Imagine your life 3 to 5 years from now, a life shaped by purpose, discipline, and care. If you were taking proper care of yourself, what would that life look like? What would you want from your friendships, your intimate relationships, and your family? What would your career look like, and how would you spend your time outside of work? These questions are not just idle reflections. They are the foundation for designing a meaningful and fulfilling life. Your mental and physical health, the way you regulate your habits, even your relationship with substances. All these elements shape the trajectory of your future. The Stoics remind us that we must be deliberate in how we live. If you do not have a valued goal, your actions lack direction, and your mind lacks motivation. Your brain, your reward system, thrives on purpose. Positive emotion comes not from mere indulgence or stagnation, but from movement, progress towards something meaningful. Set a valued goal. Choose something worthy, something that aligns with your principles and ambitions. It doesn't need to be perfect, but it must inspire you. Then, take small, deliberate steps toward it. Each step forward will feed your motivation, your sense of purpose, and your sense of self. Your future is not something that happens to you. It's something you create. Start today. Plan your friendships, nurture your relationships, structure your health, and focus your efforts. With each decision, each moment of care, you move closer to the life you truly want. Remember, a meaningful life is built by aiming at what is most valuable and steadily moving toward it. The path of creativity is riddled with challenges, and failure is the default. Most creative people struggle to produce and monetize their ideas because the process itself is difficult. Coming up with something truly new is hard. Presenting it to the market at the right time is hard. Marketing it effectively is hard. These are not obstacles for the faint of heart. Yet successful entrepreneurs and creators persist. They don't stop at one attempt or even 10. They keep going. Over and over they try, fail, learn, and try again. And eventually, if they are persistent and fortunate, one of their ideas will hit the right place at the right time. But even a good idea is not enough to guarantee success. Success depends on countless factors beyond your control, which is why persistence is critical. Persistence allows you to run experiments, to refine your craft, and to try enough times that failure is no longer a roadblock, it's a stepping stone. The Stoics teach us, focus on what you can control. Failure isn't a reason for despair, nor is it entirely your fault. But it's also a chance to reflect, to identify where you can grow, and to keep moving forward. The baseline of failure is not a reflection of your worth, but a fact of the creative process. Accept it and rise above it. This principle applies beyond creativity. To succeed in any field, you must learn to think, speak, and write with clarity and power. This is why education, especially in the humanities, is so vital. The ability to articulate your ideas, to formulate arguments, and to express yourself makes you formidable. In a complex world, nothing makes you more effective, more dangerous than mastery of language. How do you achieve this? You read, you write, you practice. Every page you absorb and every word you craft sharpens your mind and your skills. It's a process of becoming, not instant, but gradual and deliberate. Persistence in creativity and mastery of language are your greatest tools. Accept failure as part of the process, hone your skills, and move forward with determination. In doing so, you prepare yourself not just to succeed, but to thrive in any challenge life places before you. If you can write, nothing can stop you. Writing is not just a skill, it's a superpower. Why? Because writing forces you to think clearly, to organize your thoughts, and to make a case for your ideas. And when you can make the best case, you win. You achieve what you're aiming for. The Stoics valued clarity and reason above all else, and writing embodies both. When you write, you sharpen your mind. You become deliberate in your thoughts and precise in your words. And with that precision, you gain the ability to communicate effectively, to influence, and to lead. Writing makes you dangerous. It gives you the tools to articulate your vision, persuade others, and strategically navigate any challenge. Whether you want to build a career, influence change, or leave your mark on the world, writing is the foundation. It's simple. If you want to make a mark, you must learn to write. Because when you can write, you can think. And when you can think, you can act with purpose. You become convincing, unstoppable, and capable of achieving whatever you set your mind to. So take this seriously. Read voraciously. Write relentlessly. Hone your ability to express your ideas with precision and power. How do you balance marriage, fatherhood, and a demanding career? The answer isn't easy, but it is simple. Stop wasting time. When your responsibilities grow, every moment matters. Cut out what isn't essential. Stop drinking. Stop going to bars. Reevaluate how you spend your free time. Time is a finite resource, and if you're squandering it, you're stealing it from what truly matters: your family, your career, and your personal growth. When you have young children, the demands on your time are greater than ever. You don't have to abandon your friendships, but you must choose carefully. Focus on what's most important. For me, that meant prioritizing my wife, my kids, and my career. My social life outside of my family naturally diminished. But those were conscious choices and ones I don't regret. The Stoics remind us to live intentionally. Ask yourself, where am I wasting time? What activities add no value to my life or the lives of those I care about? When you identify those areas, cut them out without hesitation. It's not about sacrifice. It's about alignment with your values. You can't do everything, but you can do what matters most. Be present for your family. Dedicate yourself to your work. Strengthen your relationships with purpose and intention. In the end, it's about choices. Make the ones you won't regret. If you're trying to stop drinking, you need something better than alcohol. And let's be honest, alcohol is pretty good at what it does. It offers a quick escape, a fleeting sense of relief, and even a dose of fun. But if you're serious about change, you need to replace it with something truly meaningful, something that makes giving it up worthwhile. The key is purpose. You need to find something in your life that's so valuable, so fulfilling, that it outweighs the temporary pleasure of drinking. Esteemable people do esteemable things. So ask yourself, what can you do with your life that's worth staying sober for? What goal or dream makes you want to protect your future instead of risking it for a moment's distraction? The Stoics remind us that fulfillment comes not from indulgence, but from living in alignment with our values. You need a reason not to screw up, and that reason must be bigger than the short-term fun of self-destructive habits. Find your why. Maybe it's your family, your health, your career, or a dream you've been putting off for too long. Whatever it is, let it guide you. Build a life so rich in purpose and meaning that drinking becomes a hindrance, not a temptation. Replace the chaos with clarity and the escape with fulfillment. When you focus on what truly matters, you'll find that the fun you thought you needed pales in comparison to the satisfaction of living a life you're proud of. Here's a stoic and motivating script based on your text. If you stop wasting time, you can achieve an incredible amount. Time is your most valuable resource. And when you combine focus with efficiency, you unlock your true potential. Think of it as a game. How much can you accomplish in the least amount of time? It's not about rushing, it's about being intentional, cutting out distractions and working with precision. This mindset isn't just practical, it's deeply motivating. But as you begin to put your life together, be prepared for resistance. Some people in your life, those you may even consider friends, might object to your growth. They'll criticize, mock, or try to pull you back into your old ways. But true friends don't hold you back. Here's how to recognize a real friend. You can tell them bad news and they'll listen without judgment. They won't mock you or point out your flaws. They'll let you express your pain and they'll honor your struggle. 2, they'll sit with you in your suffering. A true friend doesn't try to fix you or invalidate your feelings. Instead, they stay by your side, sharing the burden with quiet compassion. The Stoics remind us to cultivate relationships that reflect virtue, people who uplift, support, and grow alongside you. Cutting out wasted time also means cutting out toxic relationships. Surround yourself with those who encourage your progress, not those who hinder it. Life is too short to waste on distractions, inefficiency, or shallow connections. Focus on what matters. Pursue your goals with discipline, and nurture friendships rooted in loyalty and trust. Remember, true friends don't hold you back, they walk beside you. Through every victory and every storm, you do foolish things when you're drunk. You hurt yourself, compromise your health, and burden the people who care about you. You lie, lose credibility, and risk derailing your life. Yet let's not lie to ourselves. It's fun in its way. That's why it's seductive. It offers escape, a fleeting sense of freedom. But ask yourself, is it real freedom or just a substitute for something deeper? Because what you need isn't the shallow release of indulgence. What you need is purpose. You need adventure, a life so full and meaningful that the escape becomes irrelevant. Here's the truth. Addiction is not the Substitute for adventure is the cure for addiction. When you have something worth striving for, something that fills your days with energy and direction, you don't need to numb yourself. You need a reason to wake up. Something so vital that you'd never trade it for a drink. At the same time, you must fear the right things. The Stoics remind us that it's not pain, risk, or failure we should fear, but the corruption of our own souls. Be afraid of living a life built on deceit or compromise. If you fill your mind with lies or distractions, you'll silence your inner compass. And when the critical moment comes, a decision that carries real weight, you'll falter. That moment will arrive one day. You'll face a choice between life and death, health and suffering, or right and wrong. If you've let your integrity erode, if you've dulled your judgment, you'll make the wrong call, and the consequences could be devastating. So what's the solution? Approach life voluntarily and boldly. Don't freeze in fear or retreat into distractions. Explore, risk, seek mastery. That's what makes you human. Our species thrives not by escaping challenges, but by confronting them, learning and mastering the unknown. Master your life like fire. Don't fear it. Harness it. Build a life where adventure and purpose take the place of shallow pleasures, where every decision aligns with your values and strengthens your resolve. You don't need an escape. You need to live fully. Why would you offer sacrifice to what you fear? It might seem strange, but it's exactly what we do. We always sacrifice to the unknown. When you face uncertainty, whether it's the future, challenges, or the fears that linger in the back of your mind, you instinctively give something up. Sacrifice is how we negotiate with the unknown. The future is uncertain, and that uncertainty is terrifying. It looms over all of us, regardless of how young, intelligent, or capable we are. Many of you are probably worried about your future. But pause for a moment. Why? You're young, smart, and full of potential. What exactly is holding you back? The answer often lies within. You are not entirely in control of yourself. You're made up of countless systems, emotions, habits, impulses that act almost independently of your rational mind. These quasi-autonomous subsystems, as they've been called, generate actions, decisions, and behaviors that often seem random. Think back over the last 2 weeks. How many foolish things have you done? How many times have you looked at your own actions and thought, why did I do that? It's because part of you acts impulsively, without careful thought. Left unchecked, this randomness can lead to chaos. But here's the Stoic solution. Sacrifice randomness for purpose. Instead of letting these impulses rule you, take control. Define your values. Commit to disciplined action. Sacrifice the easy path to build a meaningful one. Fear will always be there. But sacrifice transforms fear into opportunity. It becomes the fuel for growth. Offer your sacrifice to the unknown by choosing to face it. Make deliberate decisions. Shape your future with purpose. The world will always be uncertain, but your response doesn't have to be. Remember, you are not random unless you allow yourself to be. With discipline and intention, you can create a life that aligns with your highest ideals. In life, you must be cautious, but not overly so. More often than not, the problem isn't taking on too much. It's failing to take on enough. The things we fear as burdens or traps are often the very paths to meaning and fulfillment. Consider the responsibilities, commitments, and challenges you've hesitated to embrace. They may seem restrictive at first, like barriers to your freedom. But the Stoics remind us that it's within these challenges that we often find our purpose. The weight you bear becomes the strength you build. A meaningful life requires responsibility. The very things you fear might confine you. Work, family, obligations are often the things that ground you, give you direction, and connect you to others. Instead of avoiding these traps, view them as opportunities to grow and to create a life worth living. The danger lies not in carrying too much, but in refusing to carry anything at all. A life without responsibility is a life without purpose. So take on the weight. Be cautious, yes, but don't shrink from the commitments that call to you. For what you fear might ensnare you may, in fact, be the means to your liberation. Get disciplined about something. Start small if you must, but commit to it fully. Discipline is not a restriction. It's the foundation of growth. It shapes you, strengthens you, and connects you to something greater than yourself. Allow yourself to believe this. You have something important to contribute to the world. It may not be obvious now, but within you lies the potential to create, to serve, to uplift. Imagine the world as lesser without your contribution, because it would be. The Stoics remind us that each of us has a role to play, and shirking that responsibility diminishes not just ourselves but the whole. Don't be afraid to take on responsibility. Responsibility is not a burden. It's where you find meaning. It's where you discover what sustains you through life's trials. By taking on responsibility, you anchor yourself to purpose, to resilience, to the strength needed to face whatever comes your way. The path of discipline and responsibility is not always easy, but it's always worth it. It's where you find your true self and the fulfillment that only comes from living a life of contribution and purpose. So start now. Get disciplined, take responsibility, and step into the life you're meant to live. The world is waiting for your unique contribution. Don't keep it waiting any longer. Do you want to be competent and dangerous, or vague and useless? The answer may seem obvious, but the path to competence requires deliberate effort. And make no mistake, there is no greater form of power, no more exceptional way to be dangerous than to be articulate. Why? Because articulation isn't just about speaking clearly. It's the ability to think deeply, express your ideas effectively, and influence the world around you. The Stoics knew the value of words. To speak with precision and purpose is to wield a tool sharper than any blade. With it, you can cut through confusion, inspire action, and shape your own destiny. But this skill doesn't come easily. It takes discipline and practice. Read, write, speak every day. Sharpen your mind and hone your ability to communicate. The more articulate you become, the more capable you are of navigating complexity, resolving conflict, and asserting yourself in the face of challenges. The Stoics remind us that true power lies in mastery of oneself, one's thoughts, and one's actions. To be articulate is to be in control, to be dangerous in the best sense, a force to be reckoned with, but wielded with wisdom and virtue. So ask yourself, do you want to be a passive observer in life, or an active participant who shapes it? Choose competence. Choose the discipline of becoming articulate. Because when you master your words, you master your world. Start by ordering your room. It might seem trivial, but there's wisdom in this simple act. A chaotic room reflects a chaotic mind. Clutter and disorder make you anxious because they create too many pathways, too much unfinished business, too many decisions left undone. The Stoics teach us to confront the chaos within and around us. A disordered space is not just physical. It's a manifestation of the things you've avoided or left unresolved. And here's the truth. We don't repress the things we don't want to face. We simply fail to unpack them. That's why cleaning and organizing your room is more than just tidying up. It's a way of confronting the chaos bit by bit. It's a symbolic act of taking control, creating clarity, and bringing order to your life. When you organize your environment, you free up mental space and reduce anxiety. You reclaim a sense of mastery over your world. So start with the small things. Order your room. Face what you've been avoiding. Each step you take toward order is a step toward a calmer mind and a stronger sense of purpose. Remember, order in your surroundings reflects order in your soul. Take control of the chaos, and you'll find yourself standing on steadier ground. You need a horizon of ever-expanding possibility. Life is not meant to be stagnant. It is meant to be a journey of growth, challenge, and discovery. We are built to walk uphill. The struggle itself gives us purpose, shaping our character and revealing our strength. But here's the paradox. When you reach the pinnacle of one hill, it's not the end. The satisfaction of achievement is fleeting, because what we truly crave is not the summit, but the climb. It's the process of striving toward something greater that brings meaning to our lives. The Stoics understood this well. They taught that fulfillment comes not from ease but from effort. The moment you reach one goal, you set your sights on the next horizon. The journey never truly ends, nor should it. So embrace the uphill path. Seek challenges that push you to grow, goals that stretch your abilities, and horizons that continually expand. Each climb makes you stronger, wiser, and more capable of facing what lies ahead. Remember, it is not the destination that defines you, but the willingness to keep moving forward. Keep climbing. Beware of unintended consequences. Life rarely unfolds as neatly as we imagine. You might think, this thing will only do what I want it to do, and nothing else. But reality doesn't work that way. Every action ripples outward, often in ways you can't predict. This truth doesn't just apply to the tools we use or the plans we make. It applies to the people in our lives and the connections we build. What we truly want from each other is not just control or predictability. It's something real, something meaningful, and that's where the adventure begins. The Stoics teach us to focus on what is within our control, but also to remain mindful of how our actions influence the world around us. True fulfillment comes not from forcing life to fit your plans, but from engaging authentically with others, and embracing the unexpected twists of the journey. The adventure of your life lies in the complexity of your relationships, the unpredictability of growth, and the shared pursuit of meaning with those around you. It's messy, it's imperfect, and it's profoundly human. So approach life with humility. Expect the unexpected, learn from the unintended, and stay open to the deeper connections that give life its richness. That's where you'll find the adventure that makes it all worthwhile. If you aren't truthful, you undermine everything. Honesty isn't just a virtue. It's the foundation of a meaningful life. Without truth, your ambitions falter, your vision clouds, and your goals lose their purpose. Truth provides clarity and direction, guiding you toward what truly matters. So have ambition. Don't shy away from the challenge of striving for something greater. Have a vision, an image of the life you want to lead, the person you want to become. Have a goal that anchors you, something worth sacrificing for, something that gives your life focus. But ambition and vision alone aren't enough. You need a strategy. Break your goals into steps. Plan your actions with care. The Stoics remind us that even the grandest aspirations require deliberate effort and discipline. Without a strategy, ambition is just a dream, and vision is just a wish. Live truthfully, act with purpose, strive with discipline. This is the way to transform your goals into reality, your vision into action, and your life into something extraordinary. Start with honesty. Sit down, quiet your mind, and say to yourself, I'm ready to learn something. Ask, what's one thing I'm doing wrong that I know I'm doing wrong and that I could fix? It's a simple question, but it requires courage. To face your flaws honestly is no small task. Yet when you meditate on this question, the answer will come. Deep down, you already know what's holding you back. The challenge is admitting it to yourself. The Stoics taught that self-awareness is the foundation of growth. To improve, you must first see yourself clearly, your strengths, your weaknesses, and your responsibilities. This exercise is a step toward that clarity. Don't try to fix everything at once. Focus on one thing, something within your control, something you know you can address. Then act. The act of fixing even one flaw strengthens your will and builds momentum. Over time, these small changes accumulate, shaping you into the person you're meant to be. Remember, growth begins with truth. Ask the question, listen to the answer, then step forward with intention. Being truthful, especially at the beginning, is not easy. It requires you to confront your own inadequacies, to face the parts of yourself you'd rather ignore. Truth demands humility, and humility demands pain. Why? Because seeing yourself as you truly are, flawed, imperfect, and unfinished, hurts. It challenges your pride, your illusions, and the comfortable lies you've told yourself. But this pain is not a punishment. It's the price of growth. The Stoics remind us, you cannot improve what you refuse to confront. Truth is the first step on the path to self-mastery. By acknowledging your shortcomings, you gain the power to change them. Without that honesty, you remain stagnant, never discovering what you're truly capable of. And here's the reward. Truth unlocks the adventure of your life. The adventure isn't in pretending you're perfect. It's in the journey of becoming better. It's in rising to the challenge of your own limitations and transforming them into strengths. So face the pain, embrace the humility, for within the struggle lies the opportunity to create a life of purpose, growth, and fulfillment. Truth is the beginning of everything meaningful. Say what you think and see what happens. It might sound simple, but it's an adventure in the truest sense. Why? Because speaking your truth means stepping into the unknown. You have no idea what the outcome will be. The Stoics teach us to value honesty and courage, and this practice demands both. To say what you truly think requires vulnerability and the willingness to confront uncertainty. It's not about being reckless or hurtful. It's about aligning your words with your authentic self. This is where the adventure begins. When you speak truthfully, you invite growth, discovery, and the possibility of meaningful connection. You might challenge others, learn from their responses, or uncover new perspectives. Or you might face rejection, conflict, or discomfort. Either way, you grow. Life is not lived in silence or pretense. It's lived in the honest expression of your thoughts, values, and beliefs. By saying what you think, you honor your individuality and engage with the world on authentic terms. So take the leap. Speak your truth, not carelessly, but courageously, and embrace the adventure of seeing what happens next. In truth, you find not just clarity, but the strength to navigate whatever life throws your way. Faith in the truth is an old but powerful idea. It's the belief that aligning yourself with honesty, regardless of the outcome, is the right path forward. When someone asks you a question, You might be tempted to tailor your answer to achieve a specific outcome. You think, what result do I want? And how can my words steer things in that direction? That's one way of approaching life. But it's a calculated one, rooted in manipulation and fear of the unknown. There's another way, a Stoic way. When someone asks you a question, pause, think deeply about what you truly believe, and then simply tell the truth. Speak your mind without concern for controlling the outcome. Why? Because when you act truthfully, you accept reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. This approach takes courage. It means being willing to face whatever follows, whether it's approval, discomfort, or uncertainty. But in doing so, you strengthen your integrity and your connection to reality. The Stoics remind us, truth is its own reward. It clarifies your mind, fortifies your character, and builds trust with yourself and others. So have faith in the truth. Say what you truly think, even when the outcome is uncertain. Let the chips fall where they may. In doing so, you not only honor the truth, you honor yourself. You need a hierarchy of values. There has to be something at the top, a guiding principle, a goal, or an ideal that gives structure to your life. Without it, life becomes meaningless, directionless. If there's nothing to aim for, nothing to aspire to, you're left adrift. Criticizing the idea of hierarchy itself, or abandoning the concept altogether, destroys the foundation of aspiration. Without aspiration, people lose hope, purpose, and drive. And when there's nothing to strive for, life feels hollow. That's not helpful. It's destructive. The Stoics remind us people are built for struggle. We thrive under the weight of a meaningful challenge. A heavy burden, voluntarily chosen, gives life depth and purpose. It's not the absence of difficulty that fulfills us, it's the act of taking responsibility and striving for something greater. Ask yourself, what weight can I carry? What challenge can I take on that aligns with my highest values? The process of carrying that weight, of putting yourself together, piece by piece, is where meaning is found. You're not here to live lightly. You're here to live fully. So choose a goal, embrace the struggle, and strive toward the top of your hierarchy of values. The climb itself will define you. Life is an all-in game. From the moment you're born, the clock is ticking, and the end is certain. But the question isn't whether you're waiting to die. It's what you'll do with the time in between. The Stoics remind us that life's brevity is not a curse, but a call to action. The fact that it will end is what makes it precious. So, see what you can do out in the world while you're here. Take risks, embrace challenges, create something meaningful. If life is all in, then it better be worthwhile. This isn't a rehearsal, it's your one shot. Fill it with purpose, with actions that align with your values, and with efforts that leave the world better than you found it. You're here now, alive and capable. So don't waste the gift of your existence. Make it count. Live boldly, strive courageously, and ensure that when your time comes, you'll have no regrets. The end is certain, but the journey is yours to define. Belief regulates emotion. It took me a long time to truly understand this, but it's crucial to how we navigate the world. When you act out your identity, your beliefs, and the world doesn't respond as you hope, your body reacts. It shifts into emergency mode, preparing for action, because it perceives a threat to your expectations and stability. This is natural. Your beliefs are the framework through which you engage with life. When the world challenges that framework, uncertainty takes over, triggering anxiety and a fight-or-flight response. But here's the insight. This is not a sign of failure. It's an opportunity for growth. The Stoics teach us to confront such moments with courage and adaptability. When the world doesn't align with your beliefs, reflect, recalibrate, and act with intention. Don't retreat into chaos or despair. Instead, use these challenges to refine your identity and strengthen your resilience. Beliefs guide your actions, but they must also evolve. If reality tests your beliefs, meet it with humility and a willingness to learn. This is how you transform uncertainty into wisdom and fear into strength. So remember, when the world challenges you, it's not the end of your path. It's an invitation to grow. Face it with discipline, self-awareness, and the courage to keep moving forward. When you wander too far from the campfire, you find yourself in the forest. It's dark, unpredictable, and you're vulnerable, exposed to uncertainty, unsure of what to do next. What do you do in that moment? The instinct is to prepare for everything, to be ready for any possibility. But here's the problem. That kind of hyper-readiness is exhausting. It places your mind and body in a constant state of tension, draining your energy and focus. The psychological and physical cost of this response is immense. It wears you down, making it harder to act decisively. Humans need order. We thrive in environments where our actions lead to predictable results. That's why being around people who share your values and cultural presuppositions is so comforting. It creates a foundation of stability. But when uncertainty overwhelms that foundation, we become anxious, unable to tolerate the chaos for long. Even the most adventurous among us crave some degree of predictability. So what do you do when you're lost in the forest of uncertainty? You don't try to master everything at once. Instead, you take a breath and return to the basics. Focus on small, manageable actions that rebuild order. Light a metaphorical campfire. Seek out people and routines that ground you. From that foundation, you can gradually face the unknown with greater clarity and resolve. The Stoics teach us that uncertainty is a part of life, but it doesn't have to paralyze us. Approach it with measured actions and a steady mind. You may not control the chaos of the forest, but you can control how you respond to it. In the end, the path forward is not found in trying to do everything. It's in finding the next right step. Build order from disorder, and you'll find your way back to strength and stability. Why are we so sensitive to negative emotions? The answer is simple, yet profound, because we are vulnerable. You can be hurt, you can experience pain, you can be broken, consumed by intolerable anxiety, and ultimately you can die. It's no wonder negative emotions weigh so heavily on us. They're signals, reminders of our fragility and the dangers that surround us. This sensitivity isn't a flaw, it's part of what keeps us alive. It's our mind's way of urging us to tread carefully, to protect ourselves, to prepare for the challenges ahead. But the Stoics remind us, while we cannot escape vulnerability, we can control how we respond to it. Fear, pain, and anxiety may be unavoidable, but they don't have to dominate our lives. Instead of shrinking from negative emotions, we can face them with courage and clarity. We can use them as tools to navigate the world, learning from their messages without being consumed by them. Yes, you are sensitive, but you are also strong. Sensitivity makes you aware, and awareness gives you the power to act. By accepting your vulnerability and embracing your capacity for resilience, you transform negative emotion from a threat into a guide. You can't eliminate life's hardships, but you can rise above them. Face pain and fear with the understanding that they are part of the human experience and part of what makes your courage meaningful. What do you want in your life? It's a deceptively simple question, but answering it requires deep reflection and effort. To create a meaningful life, you must set clear aims, goals that you genuinely value. Without them, you drift, unmotivated and directionless. Motivation starts with clarity. What drives you? If you're extroverted, you might value friendships. If you're agreeable, an intimate relationship might be your focus. If you're disagreeable, you may seek security. If you're open, creative activity may fuel your purpose. Recognize what resonates with your nature, and let that guide your aims. But here's a powerful truth. It's not enough to just aim at something. You also need to know what you're running from. True motivation comes from dual forces, a vision pulling you forward, and a fear pushing you away. Ask yourself, what life do I want to avoid? What kind of person do I refuse to become? This clarity creates a sense of urgency and purpose. The Stoics remind us, life is a balance of striving toward virtue and avoiding vice. Both forces, aspiration and aversion, work together to shape your journey. You must aim at something meaningful while rejecting what diminishes your character. So set your goals, but also define what you refuse to tolerate. With a vision to inspire you and a fear to steer you, you'll find the motivation to create a life of purpose and fulfillment. Remember, without a target, you'll hit nothing. Aim deliberately and act with intention. What should you aim at? The truth is, you won't know until you begin. So pick something, anything meaningful, and aim at it. As you move forward, you'll gain wisdom, clarity, and experience. Your aim may shift over time, and that's perfectly fine. The journey itself is how you grow. But be prepared. Pursuing a goal will come with anxiety, suffering, and loss. That's the nature of striving for something worthwhile. The Stoics remind us that life is full of challenges. But these challenges are not obstacles. They are the proving ground for your character. The key is to have a vision for your life, a vision so meaningful that, despite the struggles, it justifies your effort. When you aim at something you value deeply, the hardships become bearable, even purposeful. Your vision gives direction to your effort and meaning to your struggle. To do this, you must get into the right frame of mind. Treat yourself as someone worth helping, as someone responsible for living a meaningful life. Care for yourself with the same dedication you would offer to someone you love and want to see succeed. Remember, the goal isn't to avoid discomfort, but to find something so worthwhile that it makes the discomfort meaningful. So aim deliberately, face the journey with courage, and treat yourself with the respect and responsibility you deserve. The effort you give is justified by the life you build. Life is a game. At its core, it mirrors the structure of sports. You set an aim, align your perceptions and actions to pursue it, and navigate the journey alongside others, sometimes cooperating, sometimes competing. Like in any game, your aim defines the rules you follow and the strategies you employ. Without an aim, there's no direction, no focus, and no meaning in your actions. The Stoics understood this well. Life requires purpose. A clear goal aligns your efforts and transforms the chaos of existence into something meaningful. But life, like sports, is not a solo endeavor. You're always engaging with others, collaborating, negotiating, competing. This interplay is not just a challenge. It's an opportunity. Through these interactions, you refine your skills, test your character, and grow into the person you aspire to be. The beauty of this analogy is that games are inherently engaging. They're meant to challenge you, push your limits, and give you a sense of accomplishment. Life works the same way. The struggles, the victories, the defeats, they're all part of a larger story, one you're constantly writing. So treat life like the game it is. Choose your aim wisely, align your actions with purpose, and engage fully with the people and challenges around you. Remember, the goal isn't just to win, it's to play with honor, courage, and set the schedule. Stick to it. That's where discipline begins. If you want to create the life you want, start by designing the day you want. Ask yourself, if tomorrow could be the best possible day, practically speaking, what would it look like? Then plan it responsibly, purposefully, and commit to following through. A great day doesn't mean indulging in every whim. A great day leaves you better off than when you started. At the end of the day, you shouldn't feel depleted or worse off. That's a bad day, and too many of those in a row can lead you into a spiral. Instead, create a structure that moves you forward, even if just a little. This is where routines and micro-strategies come in. If you know what you're aiming for, whether it's better health, meaningful relationships, or professional growth, you must translate those goals into daily actions. Day by day, week by week, month by month, your small, deliberate steps lead to meaningful progress. That's why a schedule is so powerful. It's not a prison. It's a framework for freedom. It gives structure to your efforts, ensuring that your energy is spent on what truly matters. And while nothing guarantees life won't throw obstacles your way, living intentionally is your best strategy. The Stoics remind us to focus on what's within our control. You can't control everything, but you can control how you spend your time today. And those choices define your future. What can I do today to move closer to the person I want to become? Then put it in your schedule. Do the work. Build the life you want, one well-planned day at a time. Many believe that happiness is the goal of life. But think about it. What happens when the storms come? What happens when happiness flees? There will be seasons in your life when happiness vanishes. Days, months, even years when joy feels like a distant dream. If happiness is your ultimate goal, then its absence leaves you shattered. Your life loses meaning. A shallow boat in a rough ocean will not hold. And the ocean of life? It will be rough. To build your life around happiness alone is to anchor yourself to something fragile, something fleeting. But happiness is not a place you arrive at. It is not a goal to be chased. Happiness is something that descends upon you. It arrives when you least expect it, when you're not chasing it, but instead living with purpose. It comes when you act with integrity, when you persevere through pain, and when you seek truth over comfort. Joy does not live in constant pleasure. It lives in overcoming, in standing tall when the winds scream for you to bow. It lives in resilience, in becoming someone strong enough to endure the storms. So do not build your life around the pursuit of happiness. Build it around virtue. Build it around discipline. Build it around meaning. For when you do, happiness will find you, not as a reward but as a byproduct of living rightly. The Stoic does not chase happiness. The Stoic builds strength. And in the calm after the storm, joy descends like a gift, earned through endurance. Happiness is not something you chase. It descends upon you softly, unexpectedly, like sunlight piercing through the clouds after a storm. When it comes, don't hold it too tightly. Be grateful, be still. There's enough suffering in life, enough trials that bend and break the soul. So when happiness graces you, even for a moment, feel it. Don't ask for more. Reflect. Why now? Why has joy chosen this moment to reveal itself? Sometimes the reasons remain a mystery, but that mystery is sacred. Happiness is not a possession. It's a gift, a reminder that despite life's weight, beauty remains. And when happiness fades, as it always does. Do not chase it. Do not mourn its passing. Simply carry on. For if you live with virtue, with purpose, and with gratitude, happiness will descend upon you again, like a visitor welcomed but never owned. Life is short. Life is troublesome. And whether you acknowledge it or not, your time is running out. You must do something worthwhile with the time that's been given to you. Something meaningful. Something that matters. But meaning requires sacrifice. It begins with you, your character. You must strip away the parts of yourself that are weak, that are unworthy. You know what they are. There is a version of you that you could be. A better version. A stronger version. And you know you're not there yet. This is your first pursuit, who you could become. Because the truth is, you're not living up to your potential. You feel it, you see it, and you know what must change. To pursue who you could be is to wage war against comfort, against laziness, against the smallness inside you. It's to demand more of yourself every single day. Do not settle for the person you are today. You know you're capable of more, capable of greatness. So rise to it, become it. Aim at the highest goal you can conceptualize. The greatest version of yourself. A vision so clear and high that it pulls you upward, no matter how far you fall. Why aim high? Because when life weighs you down, when suffering comes, you will need moral fortitude. The kind of strength that holds you steady and keeps you from corruption, bitterness, or despair. Become someone who can be relied upon, someone others turn to when the world begins to shake. And you don't do this for glory. You don't do it for praise. You do it because it is necessary. Get yourself together. First you, then your family, then your community, and maybe, just maybe, the world, because it all happens at the same time. Your responsibility starts with you, but its impact spreads outward. And responsibility? It isn't selfish. It's a burden, a weight, a challenge. To aim high is to reject the easy path of short-term pleasure and impulsive desires. It is to rise above comfort, above excuses, and to act with purpose, no matter the cost. The Stoics teach us to look beyond the transient and aim for what is eternal. Living in accordance with nature wasn't just about coexisting with the world, but striving toward a virtuous life aligned with universal principles. When you aim at the highest ideal you can conceive, truth, justice, wisdom, you create a guiding star. This isn't merely a goal, but a purpose so profound that it redefines your existence. It keeps you focused amid distractions and gives you a reason to endure hardships. Ask yourself, what is the highest ideal you can conceptualize? Is it to become a person of integrity? To leave the world better than you found it? Whatever it is, let it be your anchor. Obstacles are not blocking the path. They are the path. This insight encapsulates the Stoic approach to adversity. Life will present obstacles, loss, failure, betrayal. These aren't punishments, but opportunities to grow. When you aim high, the journey will test you. The higher the mountain, the steeper the climb. But here lies the paradox. The greater the difficulty, the stronger you become. Every trial is a lesson, shaping you into the person capable of reaching your ideal. One Stoic philosopher advised, "Seek not for things to happen as you wish, but wish for things to happen as they do, and you will find serenity." Learn to embrace adversity, not as an enemy, but as a teacher guiding you toward your highest self. To endure is not merely to survive. It is to thrive in the face of difficulty. Moral fortitude is the courage to act rightly, even when the world tempts you to abandon your principles. It's the inner strength to remain unshaken, rooted in your highest ideal. How do you cultivate this fortitude? Through discipline. The Stoics believed in practicing small acts of self-denial to prepare for greater challenges. For instance, practicing simplicity in diet or possessions can strengthen the ability to face discomfort. This isn't masochistic. It's liberating. By familiarizing yourself with discomfort, you ensure that no external circumstance can enslave you. Start small. Confront your fears. Step outside your comfort zone. Each act of discipline strengthens your resolve, preparing you to face life's greatest tests. The Stoics emphasize the role of reason in guiding our lives. When you aim at the highest ideal, your reason becomes a tool to discern what is truly valuable. You learn to distinguish between what is within your control, your thoughts, actions, and reactions, and what isn't. Virtue for the Stoics is the highest good. It is through virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance that you align yourself with the highest ideal. These aren't abstract concepts, but practical tools for living well. Wisdom helps you see the bigger picture. Courage gives you the strength to act. Justice reminds you to treat others fairly. Temperance teaches you to balance your desires. When guided by reason and anchored in virtue, you become unshakable. You gain the clarity to pursue your highest goal without being swayed by fleeting emotions or external chaos. Aiming high doesn't mean losing sight of the present. The Stoics were masters of mindfulness, urging us to live fully in each moment. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. To endure, you must embrace the present. Each moment is an opportunity to align yourself with your ideal. By focusing on what you can do now, you release yourself from the burden of past regrets and future anxieties. While the Stoics emphasized individual responsibility, they also valued community. There is a profound duty to serve others, recognizing that we are part of a larger whole. When aiming high, your journey isn't solitary. Surround yourself with people who uplift and challenge you. Share your vision. Serve others. In helping others endure, you find the strength to endure yourself. Fear is the greatest obstacle to endurance. Fear of failure, pain, or the unknown can paralyze you. The Stoics understood that most fears are illusions, magnified by our imagination. They urged us to confront fear with reason. Don't let the future disturb you, they advised. You will meet it if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. To aim high, you must let go of fear. Trust in your ability to adapt, grow, and overcome. Remember that fear is often a sign that you are moving toward something meaningful. Use it as a compass, guiding you toward your highest ideal. Aiming at the highest ideal isn't just about personal fulfillment. It's about leaving a legacy. What will you leave behind for those who come after you? How will your life inspire others? The Stoics believed that a life well lived is its own reward. By striving for the highest, you set an example for others. You show them what is possible. Your courage, discipline, and virtue ripple outward, influencing lives you may never see. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Let your actions speak louder than words. Let your life be a testament to the power of aiming high. To aim at the highest you can conceptualize is to live with purpose, courage, and resilience. It is to embrace the challenges of life as opportunities for growth. It is to find strength in virtue, clarity in reason, and peace in the present moment. The path won't be easy, but as the Stoics remind us, nothing worth achieving ever is. The journey itself is the reward, for it transforms you into the person capable of enduring, thriving, and inspiring others. So aim high. Let your highest ideal be your guide. And when the trials of life come, face them with the moral fortitude that only a life aligned with purpose can bring. This is the Stoic way, the way to a life of meaning, strength, and enduring greatness. Remember, your life is built one day at a time. The choices you make today, the routines you set, the goals you aim for are laying the foundation for your future. Don't let your days slip by without meaning. Take control, design the life you want, and start now. If this resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, and subscribe so we can continue this journey of building lives that matter together. And let me know in the comments,